Jason here with Max Transport. We just got up a batch of these 40-foot standard height cargo worthy condition containers. These are the UASC, United Arab Shipping Company containers. Kind of a hit or miss on these as far as the condition. This one is a 2010, so 16 years old. Don't mind the dog in the background. I get to hear that every day of my goddamn life. So non-stop. It's the neighbor's dog. But anyway, so 8 foot 6 inches tall. That's a standard height. A high Q would be 9 foot 6 inches tall. Same configuration on the interior as far as the width, the exterior width. The height is only change in that. Like I said, standard is 8 foot 6 inches tall, and high Q would be 9 foot 6 unless it's custom and modified. So it's a standard right there on the pile. But yeah, this is a cargo worthy, great shape. For a container of that age, I'm really surprised it's as clean as it is. 16-year-old container. Usually within 15 years on, they're pretty hammered. So I try and pick out the best I can when I get my access down there. So I got 4 of these coming up as the first of the 4 of the batch. They should all be very similar in look and similar in age. And you get your normal bumps and bruises and whatnot on the cargo worthy. These can still go across the ocean. Clearly we're not sending them across the ocean. Our customers are looking for them being a local in the state of Arizona, mostly rural customers trying to keep their stuff safe and organized, or build a tiny house or a pump house or she shack, whatever they might be doing out of this. Doors are a little stiff, but I like that. I prefer the hinges over here to be a little stiff as opposed to really loose. If they're really loose when you open them on a windy day, they're just fighting you the whole time coming back on you. So a little bit of stiffness, I actually would prefer that. Seals are all still good, actually in really good condition on here. These might have been changed out at one time. They're so clean, to be honest with you. You can buy that stuff on Amazon these days. You used to have to go over to Mighty over in Ohio, and some of these specific stores, or maybe some stores down in Long Beach, to get stuff specifically to the containers. But now you can buy these seals and the handles and everything on Amazon, relatively inexpensive. I'm sure they're not any lesser. So if you want to buy these handles, the seals, these little latches, all that's available on Amazon these days. People always ask what these things weigh. 8360. They're all the same. High cubes usually about 89 to 9400. These are between 8000 and 8500. So it's 8360 on this particular unit. Floors are exceptionally clean on this one. This is, I mean, in really good shape. I'm hoping the whole batch looks like this. We'll find out as they come up. But yeah, minimal bumps and bruises. No drunken forklift drivers, it doesn't look like. Floors in great shape. I mean, these little scuffs are to be expected. By 10 years in, I mean, these floors look like they're just destroyed. So, sometimes you get a batch of these just sat, in a port for years at a time and, empty till they used to be in, or they might have just had lightweight material on there, or just got lucky where you just didn't get bad forklift drivers. So you do have a rip down the middle there, a little slice, on the panel, but even for the threshold here, here's where all the forklifts are coming in and out nonstop, lifting the forks, grinding stuff, pushing stuff. You'll see a lot of these will be buckled right here. This is in great shape. So for a cargo-worthy standard 40 foot, these are, like I said, phenomenal shape. This floor looks amazing. People that make tiny houses of this thing, they'll just take and sand that floor down, throw some epoxy on it and call it a day. Pretty cool. Most of the 40 foot, you're gonna have a strip like this. Sometimes you'll have multiple strips, but typically you're gonna have the 40 foot deck and that first 8 or so foot. This might be 10, I'm not exactly sure. I've never measured them out, but you always have this metal port back here. I'm assuming that's something for flexibility on them and for loading purposes. You almost always have this rectangular area on that first panel towards the bulkhead of the back of the container. We'll have that metal sheet in there. I'll probably do some research to figure out why. It's not a big concern to me, but I just noticed they're always like that. Got a little dent up here. I said a couple of cosmetic ones, a little dent on the back. I just saw it from the outside, so there's nothing wrong with that. No leaks, nothing like that. We bring up wind and watertight, which would be our base level. We bring up cargo worthy, which is what you're looking at right now. This is be our secondary level. And we bring up one trips. And the one trip, so obviously you're like, less than a year old. Sometimes it could be even 10 years old on those, but there've been one trip across the ocean. So the fact that this thing, like I said, is over 10 years old, 15, 16 years old, this is an exceptionally clean, standard height, 8 foot 6 inches tall, 40 foot cargo worthy container. So yeah, if you guys need containers, get in touch with us. If you have any questions, throw them in the comment section. I try to respond to everything I see, and as soon as I can possibly get to it. But yeah, give us a call if you need a container, 928-243-3443. And we're operating out of Apache County, Arizona, up in the Concho, Arizona area specifically. We take care of anything pretty much Payson north. So Payson, Arizona, north up into New Mexico. I do not do a whole lot down south, but I do have outfits down south. So if you're down in Phoenix, if you're over in Winslow, if you're over in I'm just Tombstone, those areas out there. I do hit those occasionally, but I also have a couple of really good outfits that I bounce things off of. It's hard to find a a trustworthy tow company, haul company in this industry. There's a lot of scams in this industry, unfortunately. There's a lot of good guys too, but I've only come across a handful of guys that I work with in the industry over the last 4 or 5 years. So if you guys live out of the area or even out of state, give me a call if you have some questions. I can try and get you hooked up with the right people. All right, once again, Max Transport, 928-243-3443. Thanks for checking in.